Left a bit. Down a bit. Right a bit. There. You mongrel.
Talking to... No, okay.
It's not going to work, is it?
No, it's not.
Oi. Get it out.
He doesn't have it now, but...
Come on. Out you go. Yeah, but unfortunately the studio is covered with Legos at the moment. We're finding them much too interesting.
No, it's all still there. It's absolutely excellent cut content.
Oh, I'm going to have to cut that out. Otherwise I'll have to tag the advertising content.
Were you paid to do that?
No, it's not paid advertising.
Were you in any way compensated to do that?
I wish. I think they should. Alright, can I have a sound level, please?
Yes. Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What have you been up to?
I went for a walk and then I came back and then some hours later I found a coin on my floor. Which I assume came home with me.
Looking at the state of it,
Oh yeah.
with its serrated surface, it does look like it probably attached itself to your soul.
So it's an Australian $2 coin from 2002. The tail side of it is reasonably good nick,
Right.
I'd say. Couple of scratches, but nothing too worrying. And then the head side, well, Liz has seen better days.
Well, in more ways than one. So if you were to attempt to use it as legal tender, you would hand it over with tail side up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's what would happen.
Good. But was the walk not only rewarding financially, but rewarding to your soul? Oh, hang on. No. That coin attached to your soul, didn't it?
Well, I was hoping that it might break my funk in the projects that I've been doing, and it's not worked. I am hard stuck, which does tend to happen when I've been at something for a little bit, and I've not found a strategy to cope. Which is a shame, because I've now squandered like half the extension I've been given.
Oh, well, maybe you can take solace from Dory's counsel. Just keep swimming.
Yeah, no, it seems like whenever I've been at something for long enough, it doesn't stick. Which is a shame, because everything I want to do is at least medium term, if not long term. And
yeah.
And then,
dear listeners, if you have any sage advice that can be completely ignored by Thomas, then please submit it in the usual forums. What else have you been up to other than going on a futile walk to regain your funk and instead gain $1.87?
I think there's a bit more of the coin than that.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Okay then.
No, not a whole lot, to be honest.
Good.
Oh dear. Yeah.
And it's windy.
Yeah, it is windy.
Which is a bit of a concern, because I've got an empty wheelie bin sitting out on the street at the moment that is meant to be collected tomorrow morning and replaced with a shiny new, smaller one.
Right.
Yes. Council has seen fit to decide that they are no longer allowing for large family to be a reason for having a free larger wheelie bin.
Great.
And so I'm not going to pay for it. So that is life. It would certainly have been a concern when we were changing umpteen thousand nappies / diapers / yes, every day. That is happily no longer the case. So we shall cope.
Less as this develops?
Yes, less as this develops. So what have I been up to?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. Went to see my therapist yesterday, which was quite gruelling. And then had to deal with council to do the switch over, only to find out that it actually needs to be done by the landowner who actually gave me the form to...
Great.
So I'm not allowed to submit it, and yes, it was very frustrating, and they couldn't tell even from my personal ID that I could possibly actually be related to said person, and no, it has to be the landowner. But we got it sorted. I made a phone call in front of them, stuck the landowner on speakerphone and said, "Dad, tell them." And yes, after he managed to work out what was actually going on, he said, "Yes, okay, swap over the bins." And I said, "Thank you." And all the frazzleness left. And then I wrote a letter to council saying, "Thank you for having decent staff on your desk who can cope with crazies like me."
Yeah.
And then got a letter back from the CEO saying, "Thank you for your thank you," which was the first time I've actually received any response from any email that I've sent to anybody involved in council.
I have had mildly more success, but
Yeah.
then I'm usually making like specific requests and not just thanking people. So
Well, no, I have written some fairly time-consuming letters and not heard anything back. So it's the way it is. Anyway, today I went to Kingston again and took some photos.
yeah, I wouldn't have guessed from your Facebook.
No, wouldn't have guessed. A couple of masked plovers that have spurs on their wings. They're quite nasty little creatures if they're in chick raising season. They will swoop and poke you with their spurs. They were having a little conversation together and I managed to catch it. Anyway, life's been crazy all round. Frustration. So let's see if we can lift up our spirits. I nearly said souls, but who have walked that one into the ground. We're going to watch a film.
We are.
What are we watching?
We are watching D.A.R.Y.L.
Wow. I wonder if David and Margaret introduced it like that.
I don't know that they'd even have covered it.
I don't know. There we go. You can find out whilst we're watching it. What year did D.A.R.Y.L. come out?
D.A.R.Y.L, 1985.
Yeah, they were around then. They might have. Interesting. They would have been on SBS then. Anyway, please tell our dear listener, as we ramble off into... dear. Please tell our dear listener what D.A.R.Y.L is all about.
The government created him. Now they want to destroy him. The boy next door is not who or what he appears to be in D.A.R.Y.L.
Bum, bum, bum. As has been the case for the last couple of weeks, there is a bit of a theme going on here. A bit of Android things happening. Thomas is going to open the case. He's going to find that there's no DVD in there because I've already put it into the machine.
No, but there is a reasonably thick and definitely out of date winter collection from Sony Pictures.
Wow.
Yeah.
From about when?
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Hey, you were alive then.
I was.
All right.
Ooh. McLeod's Daughters.
Excellent. Bit of Australiana there. Crikey, Struth.
Action movies and comedies and fantasy.
This is thrilling content.
What is this, a mini disc player? It might be a mini disc player.
That's about the right time.
Yeah. Recommended retail price $699.
Yeah. That sounds like a mini disc player.
And now it's just bargain bin. Yeah, now we're just into the bargain bin.
All right. Let's watch this film.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this film. We're then going to talk about it after we've watched the film, so we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
I don't know whether we'll make it to side B.
It won't be too long.
No, it is a short film.
Yeah.
At least you got one thing right, you mongrel. So what did you think?
So, no, Margaret and David did not review it on one of their various shows.
No, right.
But David Stratton did review it for Cinema Papers in issue 55 of that great...
illustrious journal. Yes.
And I think he has sufficiently summed up my thoughts on the film in his summing up.
Right.
Which is that D.A.R.Y.L is competently put together, moderately entertaining, and instantly forgettable.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure I'd go quite so far as to say instantly forgettable. Clearly I remembered something of the film for us to be here right now.
Yes.
Watching it.
I did have one blip of forgetting a major plot point.
Yep.
That, if I'd thought about it a little longer, should have, because I was expecting a traverse in that manner, using code here to avoid spoilers of a movie that came out in 1985.
He flies a plane.
Oh, spoilers. I was fully expecting that, but I forgot what type of aircraft he actually selected from his vast array of vehicles that he could competently attempt to get off the ground. But other than that, I think instantly forgettable is a little harsh. But I think that's also got to do with me being at... And I was trying to work out... I would have been 16 when this came out. And whether that was the target audience or not, I'm still trying to mull over, because it's a bit ambiguous. Mm-hmm. There are certain things, especially in the time that it came out, that would have copped flack for younger kids going to watch it, especially parents having to explain to their children when they would instantly ask, so what is a hooker? Yeah, so it was that kind of thing, and certain other outbursts of language that made it past the Disney realm of target audience, school holiday fare. So maybe 16 was the target audience, but that seems too old. Anyway, all that is to say that I do have a strong recollection of it, and that's always going to tarnish any past watching of it. Mm-hmm. And even today, when watching it, I thought, okay, is today going to be the rewatch that is going to shatter all of that?
The film's just okay.
I loved it. And it's still absolutely slathered over with nostalgia for me, and I was relieved. Some competent production values really made it still a decent enough watch.
Yeah.
There are certain areas where it has not aged well, but that's got a lot to do with technology on various different levels. In a modern viewing of it, there are effects that have aged poorly. There is tech that would have been near future tech for the movie. There were computer displays being used that were not realistic in real time for the time, and yet watching it now, there was laughter in the room as to how ludicrously bad it was.
Bad might be the wrong word. Stretching plausibility.
Yeah.
Like, even within the universe that we've established, like, the kid is a robot. Okay, that's fine. What?
And see, I even have gripes with that, in that they said he's a robot, but by any definition of robot, that really isn't accurate. He's a bio...
We grew a kid in a tube and then we put a mechanical brain in it.
Yeah, so everything else is physical, you know. He's got heart and lungs, and obviously he eats and poos and wheeze and... now I've made this podcast PG because I said wee and poo. So I argue the point of him being a robot, which makes his name wrong.
Yeah. It's another in a long line of kid gets into weird scrapes that end up involving the government, because...
Yes. I do have to say, there were some car chases that, apart from the last money shot, which became more Dukes of Hazzard. Now, that's probably not going to mean a lot to large swathes of our audience, but there was a car jump sequence that was very much exceeding reality. But there was certainly a car chase at the very beginning that had camera shots within the vehicle that still felt like that vehicle was going at a redonkulous speed. And there were other practical automobile stunts that were quite scary. Near misses and pedestrians just moving out of the way in time, and a completely different sense of frantic pacing of a car chase than what you'd get today. You know, with your James Bonds and your Bourne type films where it's all really, really tightly cut. But you also get this sense that a lot of it is shot either against whatever type of green, yellow, puce screen that they're doing it. A lot of this, as far as the car chase stunts, were very practical and certainly made me feel in certain spots. Again, especially that beginning on the dirt roads. Some of the vehicles were pushed very much to the edge of losing control. So there was a sense of peril in reality rather than an artificial sense of peril, I guess.
It does turn out, however, that driving around on two wheels... It's not actually very fast, is it?
No, it's not. No, I have seen it done at a Royal Hobart show a couple of times. They've had car stunt drivers do such a stunt, but no, one has to do it at a very controlled speed.
To the point where I was thinking, is this still a car chase? Are we genuinely saying that, okay, they're getting away with this, got it, cool.
It looked good on paper. And I'm going to be cruel here and heartless, but although Turtle was quite lovable, there were certain patches there where his acting was quite variable. And his delivery of lines were quite variable. Barrett Oliver was much, much stronger. As far as that was concerned.
But there are still times. This film is not quite peak child acting. No. But
Barrett was one of the better of the era, and then either it all got too much for his parents, or for him, or for both, pulled completely out of acting. And the last time I saw him, he was an expert in, I think it was tin photography. So photographing onto chemical-treated tin plate with really old cameras, and he built and restored cameras and also did a number of photo exhibitions of, I think, architecture of the same era that such photographic technology was being developed. And it was quite interesting because he... massive big beard and long hair and very unkempt and sort of almost mad professorish, and looking at this kid miles apart. But I guess it's nice to know that certain kid actors who left Hollywood went on to do interesting things.
Yeah. Published a book on the history of the Woodbury type in 2007. Yeah.
There's certainly YouTube videos of him regarding his photographic expertise and interests, if you want to dig that up. I'm still like a little kid watching that film, even though I wasn't a little kid watching it. Well, I was a 16-year-old, so...
I would have been younger, and probably would have enjoyed it more back then.
Yeah.
I am vastly more cynical now.
You're jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to a great degree, so am I. And have certainly been burnt severely with a number of films that I loved and TV shows that I loved as a kid, but don't do anything other than create groans of what did I see in this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good old romp, fun romp, and I loved it.
I'm probably never going to see it again. It's just... I don't need to.
No.
I have consumed what it has to offer.
Daniel, on his exit, broke the code and made mention of the fact that he enjoyed it on his way out. And he's just turned 18.
Yeah.
And is usually quite cynical. And there were certain moments in there where you could tell that they didn't pass the Daniel test. And there are certainly places in there that fit into that category. Anyway, do you have anything else you wish to say about D.A.R.Y.L?
No.
Other than the fact that, yes, it's yet another, I want to be a real boy.
Yeah.
All right, well, we shall move on then.
The following segment has no title. Thank you. And we will start the first part of this untitled segment with the one non-guess comment.
Indeed.
Over on Discord, Entuosferatu.
Hi, Entuosferatu.
Says, loved the logistics discussion of your abrupt trip. Also, I approve of all discussions of AI going forward using the same pronunciation as I.
AI.
As in the affirmation.
Aye. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Aye. AI.
I forgot to bring up Doctor Who at the top of the show again. Yeah,
so it's going to be plugged in here.
Yeah, this week's was my favourite so far. I do greatly enjoy when Doctor Who does, like, a little bit of horror.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit of horror.
Yep. And certainly as a kid growing up, it was the horror elements that, hiding behind the couch kind of feeling that I guess it was my love-hate relationship with Doctor Who. And it is good to see that it continues to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a few people complaining that, like, it isn't explained at all why any of this has happened. I don't think that this new era of Doctor Who is actually particularly interested in explaining what's happening, and that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's relatively consistent on that.
Yeah. There's a Doctor Who era that can suddenly burst into song and live with it.
Not always entirely successfully, I'd say,
but it's setting the tone.
Yeah.
The tone has been set, and things don't necessarily have to be explained. Sort of along the same lines as Groundhog Day. Mm-hmm. Never explained, but it works.
Yeah. Which will take us up to the guesses.
What, the Doctor Who brings us to the guesses? Good. We arrive via TARDIS.
At the guesses, which, laying it out here, are both very good.
Yes.
Both actually better than the correct guess.
It's funny you should mention that. That was exactly what I was going to say. I was saying if I was actually thinking about it, I would have got a lot closer to the guesses that have been provided.
From Jill, we have Art Int, and from M, we have Art Intel.
Both of those minds are thinking alike. One of them remembered that we now have the option of 8 letters.
Yeah.
And ran with that. But both of them are very, very much superior to my...
Rutfical Int?
Rutfical Int, yes.
RTFCLINT.
Artificial... that sounds like poo again. Int. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, sorry, M was with... And hi, M. Art Intel and Jill. Hi, Jill.
Yeah.
Was Art Int. Much, much better than Artificial Int.
Yeah. As always, we do welcome comments and film suggestions and guesses at whatever
I'm going to show
Colin has put on the screen over there.
I am going to show Thomas what I have gone with for this episode.
Yes. I
know.
It could be tough. It could be real tough.
Really tough.
Yeah. You know, has he used punctuation? No, he might have.
Well, might have done.
No. Has he not?
He might not have. So if you want to have a guess at what the file name for this week's podcast, D.A.R.Y.L, is, please contribute either on our Facebook or on our Twitter or
on YouTube
or
on Discord. Probably not via Spotify's question asking mechanism, which I only barely notice if something comes up there.
Yeah.
And when it does, I don't bring it up because it's weird.
And if you have any great suggestions for movies that we should watch, please also send those in. All right, we shall move on then.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed. It's your turn.
It is my turn, and I hummed and hard about it. But I thought, look, I still have a stonk load of films in the My Movies database marked as Colin wants a revisit. So I'm going to open up the app, switch on a filter. So I have the films that I have marked as Colin wants a rewatch tagged. I'm going to give the phone a shake, which will randomly select one from that subset of the movie collection on our shelf. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be in the mood for watching a movie that has subtitles?
I'm usually in the mood for watching a movie that has subtitles.
Are you going to be in the mood for watching a movie that's in subtitles, directed by Luc Besson?
Ooh, yes.
Oui?
Yes.
Oui? Okay. So, this is the plot synopsis.
Yeah.
Paris.
Okay.
1912.
Yeah.
Adèle Blanc-Sec, an intrepid, sorry for the pronunciation to our French listeners, an intrepid young reporter teams up with an archaeologist desperate to achieve notoriety, and together they find themselves in Egypt, struggling with mummies of all kinds. Meanwhile, Paris panics as a 136-million-year-old pterodactyl egg mysteriously hatches in the botanical gardens, and the prehistoric bird starts spreading terror. Not enough to destabilize Adèle Blanc-Sec, whose adventurers reveal many more extraordinary surprises? Maybe adventures. Adventures reveal many more extraordinary surprises. Does it sound vaguely familiar?
It does sound familiar.
Okay.
I think we might have watched it in the off year at some point.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay. My head couldn't get around how recently it was that I'd watched it. But next week, we're going to be watching The Extraordinary Adventures of Adèle Blanc-Sec. And if you can find a better pronunciation for that?
No, I'm just checking your Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's going to show up anywhere, it's probably going to be there. Blanc. Just search for Blanc.
Blanc.
That should be...
B-L-A-N-C.
No, that's not good enough.
Yeah, it'll bring up Blancmange.
Yeah, that's not quite what I'm looking for.
No. And it would find that. Believe it or not, I have typed Blancmange at least once on Facebook. Mind you, I would say blancmange.
Show me the most recent. You might not have posted about it.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe it didn't happen.
No, I have definitely seen this
I know
film.
you've seen it, but, yeah. When did I add it to the
That's a good question.
database?
See, we're both rabbit-holed now.
Yeah, well, I've just discovered that Blanc-Sec means dry white.
Blanc-Sec. Blanc-Sec.
Okay, I don't say it quite as feminine as Google does, but I think I did a reasonable job.
Added in September 2014.
Right. Anyway.
Flip reverse it. Flip reverse it. Go ascending. Go ascending.
Oh, sorry.
Which is not quite the first wave of things being added, because that was March of 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to watch The Extraordinary Adventures of Adele Blanc-Sec. That's more Spanish, isn't it? Sorry. I'm offending everyone today.
Yeah.
We hope that you can join us as we continue to offend others next week. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us, in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
I know I'm possibly jinxing things here, but has there been a time where I have actually forgotten to hit record?
Oh, maybe 1 or 2 times in our history.
Right, but not whole segments wise of getting to the end of...
No, I think it's happened.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
What, and we've had to record it again?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember it. I think I'd remember that. Wouldn't I? I don't know. Anyway.